From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxborough.
Hi, welcome to Around Foxborough. I'm your host, Tim Green. We have with us Olivia Lensoletta, right?
Yeah.
And Jennifer Rathbun. How are you guys tonight?
We're great. We're so glad to be with you, Tim.
Well, thank you guys. You guys want to tell us a little bit about why you're here?
Sure, yeah. So I'm the artistic director at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center right down the street. And we're here tonight to talk about some upcoming productions that we are really proud to be partnering with Emerald City Theatrical on.
Who? Olivia's.
Yes, so I'm an ambassador of Emerald City Theatrical, and I'm currently playing Ursula in The Little Mermaid, which is going up next week at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center.
Okay. And how long will it be there?
It'll be there from May 30th to June 1st.
Okay, June 1st, okay. What made you guys choose The Little Mermaid?
So it's a family favorite. We love to pick big Disney shows in addition to our other shows like Christmas Carol, so you have a variety with our season. But we love The Little Mermaid. It's a great show for everybody, and I think that Marilyn Rodman was excited about presenting it there.
Yeah.
It's one of my I think it's my favorite Disney movie ever. And I will say that Part of Your World is my go-to karaoke jam.
I love that.
Yeah.
What other productions have you guys done at the Performing Arts Center?
So we do Christmas Carol, the musical, annually, and then we just did Beauty and the Beast in October, and we are now doing Little Mermaid, and then we're doing Legally Blonde in August, and then we'll announce our next season in the summer.
Okay, gotcha. Can you give us maybe a little bit of an overview of the show and what people can expect?
Sure. So Emerald City Theatrical has a variety of talent. So we have professional level actors all the way from a 6-year-old. So we have a lot of high school level talent, college level, but it definitely is a very high quality production from the costume design, which is from Emerald City as well. Everything was handmade, so it's very unique and special.
By you guys, correct?
Yes.
Wow.
And the scenic design is all custom for our production, so it's a very upscale production.
What was that like? I mean, designing an underwater world must have been quite the endeavor.
Yes. So it's very different than the production we just did, which was Beauty and the Beast. So it's been a fun challenge, definitely, trying to portray the huge magic that happened in the movie onto the stage.
Right.
So it's definitely a challenge, but it's going really well.
Okay.
I'm excited for audiences to see it.
Okay. What other kind of productions are you guys having at the
So we have a little bit of everything at our theater, so really something for everybody. This is the full-scale musical theater productions on that more professional level, but we also have a lot of youth production companies that consider us their home base for performance. And that's great because these are kids, stepping into the spotlight and getting that theater bug and falling in love with it. And then they get to see a production like what Emerald City brings in, and they realize there's something to aspire to. There's, that next level up and something to really, think about, maybe I could do that one day. But we also have comedy, we have tribute music acts, we have psychic mediums, Broadway stars. So really a little bit of everything.
Okay. How do you, as the artistic director, how do you go about choosing the performers that are going to come into the center?
Well, I always say I have the fun job at the theater because I do get to do the booking. But as far as choosing when we're collaborating with an artistic partner on this level, for us, it's really about alignment on values. And I think that we have that with Emerald City because we know that they're a company that believes, like we do at the theater, that the performing arts are for everybody, and we want to welcome people in to enjoy that and have that experience with us, whether they're a performer or in the audience or a volunteer. It's just a great experience to be part of. And also, the production values that Liv mentioned earlier, Emerald City started as a costume company, and then they're realizing the stream of becoming a full-scale production company as well. So the detail on their costumes, like every last sequin is so painstakingly applied to these costumes. They are absolutely gorgeous. The sets are just full scale. You find yourself getting immersed into the whole experience, and that's, for me, kind of like what going to the theater should be. You want to walk in and kind of forget about the outside world for a couple of hours and get immersed in this really cool experience that you're sharing with all the other people in the audience. So for us, that's, you know, what makes for a great partnership, and just, you know, having really lovely, genuinely kind people to work with makes all the difference when you're working so hard to put a show up.
And I think an arena or the theater of that size is almost like the perfect size to see a show. Because you can be as far back as you'd like to be, you're still going to have a great seat.
Right.
You know, some of these larger venues, you can kind of get lost with how big they are, and I mean that's just the perfect little. No, I shouldn't even call it little because it's not. It's the great
we
size.
seat just under 400, but the space itself is fairly intimate. So no matter, and it sounds cheesy, but I think it's true. There really isn't a bad seat in our house.
There is.
I think you're right. I do.
Yeah, and it has that intimacy between the stage and the audience. You know, even if you're sitting up in the balcony, you're really not that far away. So.
Okay. Can you tell us maybe a little bit more about the ECT exhibit and the art gallery for the public?
Yeah, so we have an art gallery that runs right next door to the main auditorium. And this is a space where people can hang out before a show or at intermission. And we feature local artists for 3-month runs. So that has been a really fun part of my job, to kind of discover how much visual art talent we have locally. We've had painters and photographers and photojournalism and all sorts of things represented in that space. And because Emerald City is not busy enough, we just decided to do an exhibit together as well while we're putting up these 2 shows.
Wow.
You know, we don't like to be bored. But because they have such a stock of costumes representing so many different shows, I have actually been to their warehouse, and it's just exactly what you would expect in all the best ways. Just so many costumes. But we're going to have a costume design exhibit that Liv has put together, and just beautiful costumes from different shows, and also a little bit of a history lesson with each one.
Yes, definitely.
Have you guys announced dates for that, or?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're
Okay.
installing it on Thursday, so it'll be live this weekend.
Okay, wow, that's perfect. Are there any other, do you have fights? I'm sure it's hard to pick a favorite, but do you have a favorite maybe production you've seen over the years? I know.
boy.
I know. It's sorry.
That's
It's
like
probably like
asking me
picking
to
a
pick
child.
my favorite
I
child.
know. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Sorry to put you on the spot. Maybe most memorable.
Well, you know what? I like to go to Broadway and see shows whenever I can, and I can remember actually seeing The Little Mermaid on Broadway years and years ago, and I thought it was such a cool production, because in the Broadway version, they're actually all the actors on roller skates, and they have a little piece of fabric that covers up your feet, so you don't see the roller skates. It just gives the illusion of them floating through the water. So I don't know if you guys are going to be on roller skates.
No,
but
we will not be.
Roller skating?
We'll be in
You won't be?
Laduca boots.
Okay.
And
But it's amazing to see how people, you know, visualize things and then bring them to life. So they're all very unique little creatures.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And how could people maybe get involved with the theater company?
So if people wanted to audition for the company, they could check out our website, which is emeraldcitytheatricalcostumes.com, or check out our social media, which is also linked on the website. But you can find us at Emerald City Theatrical Costumes on all social media platforms, and we post our audition announcements. So that's
Okay.
a great place to start, but we definitely welcome all levels. And we have a lot of new faces in this production, so we're really excited about that.
Okay, and you guys are out of where? I'm sorry.
We're out of Foxborough, Mass.
Okay, gotcha.
That's where we do our
You
productions,
do the
but
productions, okay.
the Emerald City company is based in Lincoln, Rhode Island.
Okay.
So that's where our warehouse is.
Okay, gotcha. And could you tell me a little bit about that name, the Emerald City?
Yeah, so the name Emerald City Theatrical Costumes came from our owners, Johnny Cagno and Brian Simons. Their favorite show together is The Wizard of Oz. They both have loved it since they were children, and so that was their mutual love. And so they decided to go with that name for their company.
Okay. That's a
It's
great
on our
story.
list for the future.
Yes, The
yeah,
Wizard of Oz.
I'm sure.
We're working up to it.
Olivia, are there any famous designers or costumes in the gallery?
Yes. So while Emerald City does create and design most of their costumes. We also have a stock of Broadway or national tour costume packages. So on display at the gallery exhibit will be a costume worn by Ethel Merman in Hello Dolly, Kelly O'Hara when she was Anna, William Ivy Long's costumes, original Beauty and the Beast costumes from Broadway,
Wow.
Audra McDonald's costume, Sutton Foster, Matthew Morrison. So
To Kelsey Grammer too, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And these are some pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yep.
So that'll definitely be something cool to check out.
Do you have a favorite scene in
And
Little Mermaid? Yeah.
The quartet, If Only, which is only in the musical. So it's
Okay.
not in the movie.
You wouldn't recognize it from the movie, but
No, it's so beautiful though. It's Ariel, Prince Eric, Sebastian, and King Triton, and they all kind of sing it in their own aside. And it's just so beautiful. It's in Act 2, my favorite song.
Now, do you have anybody that is there, I guess I'm sure you love playing Ursula, but is there somebody else that you would like to play? Is there any other characters?
Dream
that you-
roles?
Yeah,
It's a good one.
It's a tough question.
that's why we're
I
here.
mean, you've got a pretty juicy role right now with Ursula,
It is,
Ursula,
right?
yeah.
yes. This is my first villain I've ever played.
How do you like that? Opposed to,
It's very fun.
I mean, Belle's not a villain.
Yes, I just
right?
played Belle in Beauty and the Beast,
Right.
and that was very different.
Right.
But it's a fun challenge.
Do you feel yourself like getting into character?
Yes, so I don't bring it into my personal life. I hope for the sake of everyone around me, but
Or not method acting?
no,
Okay.
no. But it's really fun, and the cast is just so supportive, and it's such a good environment. Really is. But dream role, it could be because I just recently saw it on Broadway, but Betty Boop in Boop the Musical, that's now a dream role. I saw that last month on Broadway.
Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Jennifer, what are some of the upcoming shows you guys have?
So specifically with Emerald City Theatrical, we have Little Mermaid going up next weekend. And then in the summer, we're going to be doing Legally Blonde, which we are very excited about. It's a more contemporary piece, stepping away from the Disney a little bit. And it's just got a cult following, so we're excited about that also. There will be a live dog in the production. Quite fun. And then they'll be back in the fall for their fall production in October. And we're not announcing that one yet because we have still some moving pieces behind the scenes with settling next season. But our season announcement does get announced in mid-July. So that's really all of our shows. So the comedy, the music, all of the musical theater, all of the producing companies, that will all go out in our new brochure in July. So keep your eyes peeled on social media. If you're not following us online, we're on Facebook and Instagram. And even though I try to get everything in the brochure, there's always a few shows that sneak in and we put up just announced. And we have a newsletter that goes out by email so people can follow us and be the first to know what's going on. But certainly Emerald City will be back again in December for their third round of A Christmas Carol the musical, which I have to say is a little bit different than what you might be used to with A Christmas Carol, because this is the musical version. And the musical actually ran seasonally on Broadway for I think about 8 years. They actually have some of the original costume pieces and material from that production that was on Broadway. So that makes it even that much more authentic. It's a short and sweet, very nostalgic production. Just the set design is gorgeous, and at this point now we've done it 3 times, so it's kind of press and play at this point. But the holiday shows people love because they are so nostalgic, and just like our Nutcracker, people want to see these every year, and it becomes a really nice family tradition for people. And then they'll be back again with another spring show and possibly 1 to 2 summer shows for summer 2026. So we're looking forward to having a long, productive partnership with this company, and I hope that they don't ever outgrow us.
I think that's good for both parties for sure. Well, Jennifer, Olivia, thank you guys so much for coming in tonight. We really appreciate it. Break a leg.
Thank you.
Break both of them.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Tim Green. You can find all of our information at fca.org/events. tv.org. Thank you so much.